Presented from the Aishin Broadcast Studio at Babcock's Media.
Welcome to Dealer Insider, the video series that touches the automotive dealer market. I'm Kyle Alexander, and today joining me is Raj Clement, dealer principal of Clement Ford and president and owner of Clement Auto Group. Hey Raj, thanks for chatting with me today.
Hello, good to see you. Glad to be on your podcast today. Very excited.
Yeah, I'm excited to kind of hear some of your story. You've got a very interesting background and how you got into the auto dealer industry. So let's kind of jump into it. You came to America from Malaysia to become a first-generation dealer owner in St. Louis. First question for you. What was your life like before coming to the U.S.? And kind of talk me through the moment you realized you wanted to become an automotive dealer.
Yeah, so I grew up in Malaysia, in a pastor's home. My dad's Indian, my mom's Korean. I don't look Indian or Korean. I don't know what I look like, but I'm in the middle here. And I came here to St. Louis, Missouri in 2004. And I didn't plan on being an auto dealer at all. And as you know, St. Louis is a very generational town. Every dealer in St. Louis is second, third, or fourth generation dealer. I'm the only first generation new car dealer group in the greater St. Louis area. So that's a big deal. But when I was in college, I had this 1991 Honda Accord that I had to sell and get rid of. And I asked my friends, I said, where do I sell this car at? And they said, go to Craigslist and sell it. I'm like, what's Craigslist? I did not know what Craigslist was. Now, today it's Facebook Marketplace. Back in the day, Craigslist was the deal. So I went on Craigslist, posted the car for sale. Did not know that you're supposed to delete your posting after you sell the car. So I sold the car right away. Didn't think anything about it. But my phone kept on ringing again and again and again. And I got really irritated one day. I was walking into my class. My phone rang. I was like, man. But then a light bulb came up in my brain. So I'm like, you know what? There's something special with Craigslist. And so I started searching on Craigslist right away for deals. And I quickly learned if I cleaned up my search history on my browser, I get to see about 5 listings 10 minutes before anyone else can see. So I won't even scroll down on Craigslist. I'll just look on Craigslist for a few deals, the top few deals from private owner. I had a stack of cash always hidden in my dorm room. And I would just go out there and look at deals and buy the car right away. And I had 5 to 6 cars, cheap stuff, parked on the side of the college. And as you know, as a college student, every student can only have 1 car per student.
Right.
And I had 5 or 6, and they just they never said anything to me. They let it be. And so that's how I got sucked into the car business by accident.
That's awesome. You kind of had like a mini dealership in college almost with your 5 or 6 cars, right?
Almost, yes. Sounds that way. Yep, that's right.
What a cool story, though, going from Craigslist down to this full auto group that you built up.
That's right.
From the ground up. And like you mentioned, too, you're the only first-generation owner to do this over in St. Louis. I'm guessing you've probably received plenty of advice from just people around the auto dealer industry. Tell me, what's one piece of maybe conventional dealer wisdom, we'll call it, that you followed from your start in this industry, one piece of wisdom that you have ignored, and then how did these decisions help shape Clement Auto Group into what it is today?
Henry Ford once said, if you believe you can, you can. If you believe you cannot, you cannot. And so I've always believed that if that guy can do it, I can do it too. And that's always been my mentality, is if you try to plan and wait for everything to be perfect, you'll never do anything. So growing up, my dad would build churches in Malaysia. He started 50-something churches. And I remember there was times where we had no money, and all the money we had was to start the foundation. And he would tell the guys, let's start the foundation. Let's start cutting the trees, because we would use a chainsaw, cut the trees to make wood, but we had no money to do anything else. And they said, what are we doing? He said, we just got to start first, the money would come. And the money always came, and we always finished up all the projects. And so that's been the same mentality. I said, you know what, if I want to do something and I do not see all the pieces of the puzzle together, do it. Just start it. It would all fall apart. It would all fall in place, And so that's been my mentality from scratch. and some people call me crazy because I do some stuff that makes no sense, but things always just fall through, work out. So that's really, there's no magic pill. There's no magic answer.
Very cool. You mentioned Henry Ford there. You've got a new Ford dealership. That's the
That's right.
first new Ford dealership to feature the brand's new signature 2.0 design, kind of talking about this hospitality first sales anywhere format for that
Yep.
design. What specifically did you see in Ford's vision that made you want to be the first dealership globally to execute this?
So, the last time Ford did a redesign was in 2003, a little over 20 years ago. And it's the first new design they have done since then, with the first one in the country. It's completely done. We moved in back in November. It's a big deal. It's all white and glass. There's no more silver. There's no Ford Arch. It's all gone away. And about 150 new Ford dealers signed up in the last Ford meeting to do it in the next, couple few years here coming up. But we're the first ones in the country. They're completely doing away with sales cubicles. They do not believe that a customer should sit across from a salesperson. They don't want a customer to be tied and locked into a sales office room with the door shut, and you try to shove it down, try to close them on payments or whatever. And so it's an open concept, sales anywhere, couches, lounges, coffee, and you sit side by side with the customer, salesperson and the customer. No more computers, it's all laptops or tablets. And so it's a very unique way of doing business. And so far, the customers love it. And Elena Ford, she is the only female Ford family that's an executive with the Ford company. And this was a baby. So she went out there with I think about a dozen dealers, did a bunch of research all over the country, and to try to come up, what does customer like? What do they want to see? And this is what they came up with. And we're excited to be the first one in the country.
Yeah, some are saying that this new dealership design is like the future of dealership layouts for all dealerships, not even just the Ford brand. I mean, I've read up a little bit on this design. You have things like the celebration bay, you have a Bronco showroom, skylights in the service bays. You talked a little bit about customers' response to it being pretty positive so far. Moving forward, how do you think this new dealership design is going to change how customers engage with your Ford store?
It brings that guard down. By the way, the Bronco showroom wasn't part of the design. That was us saying, you know what, we're going big. Let's just go all in.
That was
And
your
so
that was your idea for the design.
that was our idea. We wanted a Bronco showroom inside the main showroom,
Very
which
cool.
sounds crazy, but Bronco's a big deal for Ford.
Absolutely.
And in fact, from the customer lounge, you can see we have a big open window. You can see through and see your cars being worked on. A lot of customers, they bring their cars for service, oil changes, tire rotation, and they all get frustrated because it takes forever, and they question if the dealers are actually working on their cars right there and then. Now they can see their cars being worked on. And we have the skylight on the service department roof. That was also our idea, actually. We wanted to brighten up the place.
Very cool.
Um, and customers love it. The guards come down and they want to buy stuff. They feel there's no pressure. And that's the thinking. You want to make it hassle free.
It's cool to hear too. You're already putting your own touches on this new dealership design just to help make it more inviting for customers. That's a cool aspect of this whole thing.
We had to follow Ford's concept, and they say this is how we want to do it. But that little minor stuff, they let us, be a little bit flexible. But we have to stay within their concept of how they want things done.
Let's shift gears a little bit here, kind of going back to what you're talking about being, a first generation owner of a dealership in St. Louis. You're in an area where you've got all these legacy dealers who've had their territories for long times. We're also dealing with a transformation in this space with digital retail. Dealers like yourself are really starting to adapt to this new system. Tell me, from your perspective, what's one advantage that some legacy dealers have that they keep underselling? And what's one blind spot that's going to cost them if they don't address it?
I can't speak for the legacy dealer because I'm not one of them, but I do know there's no magic sauce. Everyone's looking for that one item you can do that changes your life, that magic pill per se. There's no such thing. It's all about keeping your head down and getting your processes right. It's something that we struggle with, and we still try to work on it every single day. But it's all the little stuff that builds up to something important. Taking care of your people, having a great culture, making sure that the customers are taken care of properly, doing things after the sale. It's all the sales 101 that we tend to forget about. And there's really no secrets. It's doing a lot of different things right. And we work on that every single day.
That's good to hear, Raj. As we kind of go to one of our last questions here, let's look ahead, talk a little bit about the future. A lot is happening that's just transforming this industry and ultimately will shape its future. And as someone who recently built this dealership group from scratch in your environment, what's the biggest opportunity in the franchise dealer model that even people inside this industry aren't fully recognizing yet?
It's not a complicated model. If you follow the structure, there's percentage of everything you have to be at. You got to, your expense needs to be X amount of percentage of, your gross sales. And there's a playbook out there given to you by the manufacturers, even NADA. And all you have to do is follow the playbook, just like McDonald's. Whether you go to South Dakota or you go to Florida, they make the cheeseburger or the Big Mac the exact same way. If you follow the process, it's all you have to do, and it's not that complicated. And Wall Street, for some reason, they love traditional business. As you know, Warren Buffett invested, billions of dollars into the Vental Group years ago. They love the automotive business. It's a proven concept. Publicly traded companies, they do a decent job. And it comes back to the thing I said earlier. Just do all these little small things right. Keep your head down, do it right. Don't look for the next big thing. There's no magic sauce. And take care of your people, take care of your customers, and you'll do well. And we work on that every single day.
Great stuff, Raj. Thanks again for joining me. One last quick question for you. Anything else you'd like to highlight about your story or, Clement Auto Group?
We're the only first generation dealer out here. There's a lot of new car dealers. If you look at them today across the country, they are 95% older people ready to retire. Or if they're younger, they were the sons or grandsons or granddaughters or daughters of dealers. And it's the big groups that are becoming bigger. Publicly traded companies are becoming bigger, buying up all these different dealership. And it's very rare you meet a young guy that's done it from scratch. There's some out there. And I would like to give the main reason is because of God. You got to put him first, and God will bless you. And I always want to put it out there. It's not my ability, it's God's ability that's given to us people. So that's it.
Thanks, Raj. Thanks for your time.
Take care. Thank you.